for this video, I don't need to use the board, so that's good. So I can just talk right to the camera. So I'm going to give a couple examples where it's valuable to add the quantifier, and you can actually get miscommunication because if the quantifier is lacking. So I would see this happen a lot in some student groups or organizations where people say, people have been complaining about something or other. Let's say you're on the leadership. You hear that a lot. People have been saying this. And now in that case, they're making a generalization. People have been saying. But the question is going to be, well, how many? And notice that the quantifier is missing. And you want to know, like, are all the people saying this? Are even most of the people, or many? Some people will say this sort of thing when they, like, it might have just been their one roommate or two that like made a complaint about the organization you're a part of. And you want to watch out for that. And so I'd normally like to ask, like, okay, but how many people were actually concerned about this or complaining about this? A lot of times it's only one or two. A similar thing happens when I've heard this, people might say, people have been talking about you, or people have been gossiping about you, okay? They're making a generalization. And you want to ask, like, how many people have actually been saying this? Just like one or two? Was it just Sally or Susie? So yeah, whenever generalizations are made, ask for the quantifier. So that was my one like kind of set of examples. Here's another one that goes back. I remember the last summer when they were wondering whether VC should reopen, and whether college campuses in general should open. And I remember people would say, well, college students, they'll just be partying and, partying at fraternities, sororities, and blah, blah, blah. Now, when they say that college students are just college students will be college students, I really wanted a quantifier there. Like, how many college students are they really talking about? And it turned out, actually, I think most, perhaps nearly all college students were actually acting pretty responsibly, wearing their masks, socially distancing. Certainly not all, and you definitely had, your violators of our COVID, protocols and such. But again, this is a case where people just make a claim about college students. So college students are just gonna, not care and be socially irresponsible. And so I think there it's valuable to ask for the quantifier. Like, I don't know if that many college students are actually going to be like that. Okay, so now I want to just apply this a little bit more sensitively. I use a gender case about like when people make claim about boys are like this, men are like this, women are like this, girls are like this. This also happens in the case of race. So people say, oh, Asians are good at math, or Asians are good at kung fu, or whatever. And now there's some question like, should people be making these claims? But insofar as we want to ask whether these claims are true, you want to ask, well, are we talking about all Asians? Are we talking about many, some, most? And probably not. Most Asians probably don't know kung fu. In fact, right? Maybe many do, because there's a lot of Asians in the world. How about Asians like rice? Well, yeah, it's a stereotype, but probably true. I would say most Asians probably do like rice. I like rice. But see, when we make claims about a race, also, you want to be clear on the quantifier. Like, what is the claim we're actually making? This is going to apply for stereotypes about like white people can't dance. I don't know, something people would say, or like black people are athletic. These are just statements, and insofar as we want to be clear thinkers, we want to add a quantifier to see whether they're correct. Now, in the Zoom session, we're going to delve into this a little more deeply, and one of the things we're going to ask is, are these generalizations okay to make? Are racial generalizations okay to make? When, and if so, when is it appropriate? When is it wrong? So that's going to be what we'll discuss. So a very important issue, but we will have to stop now on that.